After making a video about this HP laptop, here's the same thing. This is my main computer, my HP 15 laptop, and it just recently turned 3 years old. So I wanted to make a video about how it's held up and whether it was worth purchasing, or if I should have bought something else, or maybe saved up a little more and gotten something more expensive, which would have been better. Keep in mind, before I got this computer in May 2015, I had my 2009 MacBook Pro as my main computer, which was okay, but it was getting slow and I thought I needed something slightly more powerful, and this was it. For those things, this computer has definitely been very good and I don't regret it. Its processor, an Intel Core i7-4510U, is of the U series, which means ultra low power, so it's not as good as a desktop class CPU. But it's still better than what my MacBook had, an Intel Core 2 Duo B8700. And this computer originally wasn't very fast because it still had a mechanical hard drive. But in January 2016, I swapped it for a solid-state drive, a Samsung SSD 850 EVO, and I did a clean installation of Windows 10. And since then I haven't done any other reinstallations of Windows, and you can check out how well it runs now. But before turning it on, I want to tell you about swapping this black display cover for the red one. I didn't do that just because it looked better. This computer has two hinges, as you can see here, and they are screwed to a plastic display cover. Since it's plastic, it's not that strong. In fact, I can show you on the old display cover here. The screw holes completely broke. There were supposed to be 3 screw holes here, and they just ripped off from the plastic. As a result, the hinge was stuck, and I couldn't open and close the laptop lid anymore. I could, but I had to hold here very strongly, and the more I did it, the more I risked breaking it further. So I thought I could have it replaced, but I didn't think it was worth it because this computer has a crappy 1366 by 768 LCD. One of the things I don't like about it. And just shortly after this hinge incident, another problem happened. Everything on the screen looked red. It had a red tint on it. I knew it was something to do with the display cable and not the LCD panel, because sometimes it would go back to normal and then it would look all red again. It took me months to realize that the display cable on the motherboard wasn't connected properly, and I just unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it solved that problem. However, the hinge was still stuck. By the way, in the meantime, I was just using this computer with an external monitor. And it still worked completely fine. Everything else was still perfect. But anyway, after fixing the red tint problem, I had to fix the hinge problem. And so what did I have to do? I simply had to buy a new display cover which didn't have broken screw holes. Over here the screw holes are still fine, as you can see. Actually no, one of them broke. The other ones were just about to break. And here one is still fine, but that's for holding the display, not the hinges. As you can see here, it says this display part was made in October 20th, 2014. Pretty much everything in this computer was made in late 2014, and I bought it in mid-2015. In fact, I think they had 5th generation Intel Core processors by then, but this one has a 4th generation Intel Core processor. But it's still pretty good. I even managed to update the BIOS on it and fix vulnerabilities against Meltdown and Spectre exploits. So that's cool. So I went on the HP website and they had an announcement about fixing against the meltdown and Spectre exploits. There was a BIOS update for this computer, HP15-R100 series. I downloaded it and it installed fine. So now let's start it up and see how this installation I've done in January 2016 has held up. I have to log in here. Takes a while, but I have a lot of stuff in this computer. This SSD partition is almost full. As you can see, only 10.4 gigs free. Because this part of the laptop is still completely black, and even though I like it, since the back is red, I decided to put a red desktop theme. And yeah, black and red laptop looks pretty cool to me. I haven't used the battery much. I usually use this computer without a battery, so it doesn't wear out too quickly. But I think this is the laptop I have with the best battery life. About 4 hours or so, which is crap compared to other laptop batteries, but I don't need more than that usually. And if you watched my previous video, you'll know that this computer also has a partition with Mac OS. So let's reboot to that now. I have to say I haven't been using that partition much. And I've been thinking about removing it. But for now I still have it. And it still seems to work fine. Keep in mind, on this 500GB SSD, the Mac OS partition has like, I think 128 gigabytes. The Mac OS partition is about 128 gigabytes and the rest is Windows, so that's another reason why I use Windows the most. And it's still running Sierra. I could upgrade it to High Sierra, but I read that it could screw up your Windows partition on a Hackintosh, so I haven't done it yet. The only reason I still have it is for iMovie, but I'm not even gonna use it to edit this video. I'm gonna use iMovie on my iPhone instead, because I've done it for another video, and now I'm gonna try doing it for this video too. So it still works fine, even though I rarely use it. If I need to use Mac OS, I'll just use my real MacBook. And what else can I say about this HP laptop? Apart from the crappy resolution screen, I don't regret buying it, because its performance with an SSD is still great. It has a dedicated graphics card, an NVIDIA GeForce 820M with 2 gigabytes of video RAM. It can run some games okay, but for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 runs at 720p at only 30 frames per second, which for some people is not good enough, but for me it is, because I rarely play video games. The trackpad is not as good as the one in my MacBook, but it's okay. The left mouse button is still noisy, but I can use tap to click when I can't make noise with this thing. The keyboard is pretty good, even though the right side of the spacebar is quite worn out. I don't think you can see that, but here it's smooth, while here it still has a little texture to it. So that's the only worn out key, but it still works fine on... Oops, I accidentally started booting there, but it still works fine on every side. And I did have a problem with the Wi-Fi, but I said in a comment that I was able to fix it, so internal Wi-Fi works fine, even though I still have to use an external adapter. On macOS. Now I'm gonna shut it down because it's on the bed, because my desk is a bit messy. and I don't want it to heat up too much on the bed here. Oh, and by the way, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it does have a free RAM slot. I could upgrade this computer to 16 gigabytes of RAM, but because this computer is still working just fine with 8 gigabytes of RAM, I'm not gonna upgrade right now. And by the way, it requires me taking apart the entire computer, so it's not worth it at the moment. And the optical drive, which has been a great help many times. It feels flimsy, but it hasn't broken yet, so that's good. If you can find a computer like this, with this Intel Core i7 dedicated graphics card and stuff for cheap, you should get it, but the first thing you should do is take it apart and take out the hard drive and put an SSD in it. And this is a great little computer. Well, it's not little, it's 15-inch. This is my primary computer, and I don't really do much powerful stuff on this computer, but maybe as a secondary computer it could work very well for most people. So that's it about my HP 15 R127NL laptop. This is a video done in one take, very quickly, so I might have missed something. Be sure to read the description, because that's where I'll add details I forgot to say in this video. If you have any questions, just ask in the comments. And thank you very much for watching.